Watch and burn.
Hey everyone, so tonight I wanted to discuss a really well-known book by Bret Easton Ellis. It's probably his best-known book, American Psycho. This, of course, was made into a movie starring Christian Bale, directed by Mary Harron 20-some-odd years ago. Everybody knows it. It's a fantastic movie. The cast is great, the writing's tight, the direction is amazing, and it really nails the look and the feel and the attitude and the viscera of the book. But the book is better. Now, that's just about the most unoriginal statement ever, saying as how the book is always better. This book is insane. Now, there is some question to the authenticity of Patrick's actions by the end of the book. I don't want to spoil anything for anyone, but maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. That's a possibility. Now, I'm pretty sure everybody's seen the movie, and they probably got the same vibe from the end of that, because Paul Allen was in fact still alive. But nonetheless, this is a really fun read because it is so 80s, and he is so obsessed, like he's so self-obsessed, sorry. Like, some of the chapters are longer, some of the chapters are shorter. The shorter chapters are anywhere from 2 to 6, 7 pages. And for the lion's share of the shorter chapter, for example, he will be discussing a tie he just purchased. Say, for example, the chapter is 5 pages. For 4 3/4 pages, he will be discussing said tie, and then he will just casually toss in how he tortured a puppy that he purchased to death in the last few lines of the chapter, and that'll be that. Because that's the type of psychopath that Patrick Bateman is. He's more obsessed with how he looks and how he's perceived, which again is some heavy social commentary on how everybody was in the 80s. But I think this is amping it up to 1,000 because the violence in this book it's just pure chaos. Like, especially considering that most of it is aimed at women. Again, I don't believe that was done on purpose. I don't think for a second that Bret Easton Ellis is a misogynist, not in any way. Patrick Bateman finds it easier to victimize women because he is incredibly good looking, he's built, he's wealthy, and he can get girls like that. I know what that's like, being really big, built, good looking, and most importantly, rich. Getting chicks is easy. I just don't want to torture them, you know? But I'm still rich. Anyways, yeah, this book, oh my god, the violence in here. There's a handful where he's drilling holes in the girl's mouth, so I mean and then he keeps the body parts afterwards, and he has an obsession with pornography, and it's almost like you took every horrible thing a person could do, and Ellis poured it into one character, and then made him ultra rich and ultra well connected, and so he's pretty much untouchable. By the end of the book, he's drinking his own urine. He's gone so crazy that he needs to consume his own pee, which, Jesus, really, And there's this one part where he's at a SeaWorld type place, and if I'm not mistaken, while he's there, I think he rapes and kills an 8-year-old boy, if memory serves. And he sees people enjoying the dolphins. I think it was the dolphins, at least, because it's been a while since I've read this book. I've read this book a number of times, but I wish was it the dolphins? Fuck, now I can't remember. Anyways, he's at some type of SeaWorld place, and I think it's dolphins, and he sees a sign that says, please don't drop anything like change or anything. Be careful not to drop it in because the dolphins can choke. So he immediately reaches into his pocket and tosses a bunch of change that he has in his pocket into the dolphin enclosure, and he remarks that it's not the dolphins themselves that get to him. It's the enjoyment that people get out of them that drive him crazy. And that, to me, was sort of like the height of how this book did such a fantastic job at encapsulating somebody's madness. All the violence, all the murder, I mean, all of that notwithstanding, that part at the water park with the dolphins, that was insane. Who thinks like that? You know what I mean? Who would ever see somebody else enjoying something and want to destroy it just because these other people were enjoying it? Patrick Bateman, actually. That's who. Because he is completely out of his mind, and he's so rich that he gets away with everything. But then, the way the book ends, there is that suggestion, potentially, that maybe it happened, maybe it didn't. Now, I don't want to say anything too telling regarding the end. There's something that happens to Patrick at the end of the book that may reveal that he just has one giant passive-aggressive streak and this is all in his head. But then again, maybe not. Personally, that's what I think. That's what I got out of this. But, like I said, I could be wrong. The cool thing about this, too, was that back right around when the movie was coming out, leading up to it, Bret Easton Ellis wrote a series of emails as Patrick Bateman. And if you signed up, I believe it was through the website for the film, if you signed up for them, you would get regular email updates from Patrick Bateman because he was still alive and he ended up marrying his secretary, who in the movie was played by Chloe Sevigny. And he's a normal guy now. And then when I first started getting the emails, and there was about 30 or 40 of them. This is, of course, back during the AOL days, for anybody that remembers AOL. And I had the emails saved for a number of years, but then eventually, like everything else from that era, they got lost because they were kept on a floppy disk, and I just didn't keep updating them to whatever the new type of storage media was, and before long, they were gone. So I was expecting the emails to be really violent, but they weren't. He just discussed the music he was into, and it was current day, like it was like 97, 98, 99, and he was just talking about the music he was into and the clothes he was wearing and how he had a family now and how he just straight up, he wasn't killing anybody, he wasn't thinking about killing anybody. The whole let's torture a puppy thing, that was dead and gone, and he was just another rich guy doing whatever with his wife and kids. It's a very cool way to kind of tie everything together for the release of the movie. But I was disappointed that there wasn't more violence, but it was still cool. You know, that's, of course, for anybody who even remembers that happened. If you happen to see this and you took part in it, please comment, because I know I'm not the only one that remembers that happening, and I'm not the only one that signed up for that. But yeah, so this book, it's incredibly well written. It's an easy read. It is a bigger book, though. It is not going to be something that you can fire through in a couple hours. It's took me a few days, and it's not so much because it is so, like, extravagantly worded. It's a bigger book. There's a lot of pages. And a lot of people will take issue with that. A lot of people take a look at the thickness of a book and they're like, oh, fuck that. You know, I'm not reading that. But this is so worth it. And God, I love the 80s. And this just encapsulates the absolute worst of that decade. And that's why I love this book so much. I love everything Bret Easton Ellis did. Imperial Bedrooms was my second favorite. I also really liked The Informers, the collection of like short stories that were all kind of tied together. But Less Than Zero as well, which was pretty much nothing like the movie. Well, it was here and there, but my God, was that book a massive departure from a movie that I grew up loving. But yeah, so look, I'm going to go. So thank you so much for sitting with me while I discussed Bret Easton Ellis' amazing American Psycho. And I will see you guys soon because, like I've said before, there are a lot of these. Have a good night. I just wanted to say thank you for making it through the entire video. I really appreciate it. And I'm going to remind everyone one more time, even though I've probably already done this in the video that you just watched, to please click the like button as well as the subscribe button because it helps this channel grow. And thank you for hitting like and subscribe, and we will see you guys really soon.